Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Oscar nominations do start happening in a couple days. Tuesday morning is when we get the Oscar nominations. I'm going to do a live reaction to that when it does happen. This video is going to be uploading on a Saturday, I think, so we're a couple days away from that. These are going to be my final predictions on what's going to be nominated. I don't think I'm going to get them all right. I don't think anyone's going to get them all right. These are just my personal predictions. Everyone can have your own opinion, so leave your personal predictions down below in the comments. I'd love to take a look at those. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, helps it a lot. But let's get to our first category with animated feature. This is one of my favorite categories. I know the Oscars, they kind of hate animated features, but I'm going to try to make this video go by a little fast. So we're only going to spend a little bit on each category because I'm just going to go over the 5 that I think are going to get nominated. And don't worry about the numbers. I'm not really going to, stack them by what I think's going to win at the moment. I'm just putting them in there and seeing what I think's going to get nominated. I personally think Cross the Spider-Verse is easily going to get nominated. Then The Boy and the Heron, Elemental then, and then Team and Team Mutant Mayhem, and then Suzume. I think that Suzume could maybe get in. Or I'm also thinking maybe something like Nimona. This is so interesting that Disney is not going to get nominated. I don't think Wish is going to get nominated. I don't think there's any way that Wish is going to get nominated. Team and T, I hold hope for, but I'm a little worried about that. But Suzume is the one that is a little bit in danger because I think Nimona could take over. But I think that is such a stacked group of nominations, and I think it will easily come true. Next up, we got Best Picture. This is one that I kind of struggle with a little bit because once we get to the 8 through 10 section, I don't really know what's going to happen there. I feel like we're going to have a couple snubs for me personally with Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think it's going to get in. The Iron Claw, I don't think it's going to get in. I think it's a little bit too late for the Iron Claw, which is really sad because that's a fantastic film. But if we get a lineup like this, if we get even like 9 or 8 of these in here, it's going to be one of the best Best Picture lineups we've had in many years. I got Oppenheimer in there. We all know it's going to get in. The Holdovers, it's been like surging so much, especially at these past award shows. Then I got Poor Things, my favorite film of the year. Barbie, been surging a little bit, but I feel like it's not going to win as much as people think it is. Anatomy of a Fall, that's been surging a lot. It's been surging more than Past Lives. 6 got Killers of the Flower Moon. I think that one's going to have a hard time getting many wins. 7, American Fiction. It's probably my favorite comedy of 2023. Past Lives, of course, getting in there. Maestro and The Zone of Interest are ones that could get swapped out for others, but I've heard The Zone of Interest is really good. I still haven't had a chance to go see it, only because it's not in my theaters, but I've talked to people who have seen it and they said it's really great. Kind of a hard movie to watch at times, but they said it's great. Maestro, it's one that, it's an Oscar baity kind of movie, so I think it will get in, but if it doesn't, I won't be surprised. But this lineup looks really magnificent if it does come true. Then we got the acting categories. We're going to start with actress. I really do think Emma Stone is going to get in, and I wouldn't be surprised if she wins. I think she deserves the win. Lily Gladstone is, of course, going to get in. She's been winning a couple of other awards. Her and Emma Stone have been, fighting it out for the other award shows that have been happening. Carey Mulligan, going to get in for Maestro. She was excellent. Sandra Hüller, these 4 and 5 positions right here, the last 2 spots are kind of up for grabs, I would say. Sandra Hüller, I think, would be the safest one because Anatomy of a Fall was great and I thought her performance was great. Anatomy of a Fall, as I said, has been rising up lately. Margot Robbie, though, I do think that Margot Robbie will get in just because how popular Barbie is, but I'd rather have someone else, someone like a Greta Lee, maybe like someone like a Natalie Portman. I just don't know if I see that happening because Past Lives has been losing a lot of steam, and Barbie is just so much more of a popular film, and I feel like they might do it for ratings and all that. But I see Margot Robbie probably getting in, but I don't see her winning. I don't think it's one of those magnificent performances. I think it's great, but I don't think it stands as tall as the other four performances that I'm predicting here. So Margot Robbie, I think she will get in, but I think Greta Lee also has a small chance. But this top 5 looks great. Now in Best Actor, I got Cillian Murphy still in there. Cillian Murphy's running strong. But guess who is right behind him? Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti has been winning a couple of awards. He's been standing pretty strong alongside Cillian Murphy. Probably because Paul Giamatti has that long run of just acting and a lot of great stuff. He's finally getting his dues, finally getting his wins. But Cillian Murphy, I still see as the strongest performance. Jeffrey Wright, I moved up a couple spots just because I think it's his best performance. I think it's a very hilarious performance with a lot of heart in there. Bradley Cooper, I moved down to 4 because, Bradley Cooper, he hasn't won really much. He's really just sitting back there and just, yeah, I think he should have taken a better role than this. I feel like this is a little bit baity. I still like his performance a lot. I feel like it's just, he's going a little bit too much for that Oscar. In my 5 spot, I really wanted to keep Zac Efron in there for the Iron Claw. I just don't see it happening, sadly. I think that Leo's probably going to get in just because of his, long run with the Oscars, always getting nominated. I hope we get a surprise and, maybe Leo drops out, he doesn't get in, but I'm praying for Zac Efron, even though I don't see it happening anymore. Supporting actress, I've kept Devindra Randolph up at the top for the longest time ever because she just gives the best damn performance. She has so much heart, so much joy. She's hilarious. I moved Emily Blunt up because, I don't know, the writing on her character isn't great, but Emily Blunt's just very terrific in that role, and she has that one big moment. And Daniel Brooks kept her in there because Daniel Brooks is the best part and best performance of The Color Purple. Jodie Foster I put in there only because, Nyad's been getting a lot of love from the awards people, the critics and all that. I don't know why. Nyad's not a great film. Performances are pretty good, but not anything spectacular, I would say. Jodie Foster, I mean, she's a great actress. She's already an Oscar-winning actress, but I don't know if I would, nominate her for something like Nyad. And 5, I kind of had trouble. I think, I might be a little wrong in this. I want Julianne Moore to get in for May December because I thought that her performance was kind of just like, very great, but kind of just like a little creepy because her character is creepy. So I feel like something else could maybe get in, like Sandra Hüller for like a Zone of Interest supporting nomination. But I'm still going to keep Julianne Moore in, but Devindra Randolph, that's just a lock for the win at this point. Supporting actor is my favorite category this year so far. Some of my favorite performances of the year. Robert Downey Jr. is just staying in there. He's never going to leave. He did win the Golden Globe. He's just, at the top for now. Ryan Gosling, it's my favorite performance out of these 3, I would say, out of these 5, but I'd still give it to Robert Downey Jr. Mark Ruffalo, it's a hilarious performance. It's one of his best performances so far. Willem Dafoe, I'm still predicting Double Poor Things, even though I do see a very big chance it's not going to happen, but I feel like it would be pretty cool if it happened because Willem Dafoe is the heart of Poor Things and a very big part of that movie, very big supporting part of that movie. So I would really put them both in there. And Robert De Niro is one that, I wouldn't put in there if I was actually voting for these, Oscars. Just because, I mean, I think it's a very good performance. I feel like it just doesn't have a lot of big and huge scenes for him for me to actually put him in there. I'm kind of hoping that we get a big surprise here, maybe like a Charles Melton, maybe like a Dominic Sessa, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I feel like maybe Willem Dafoe, Robert De Niro could, exit here and we get a big surprise. Sterling K. Brown, even. It's going to be interesting. This is my favorite category so far. Some amazing performances here, but I'm still pretty, still pretty tight on that top 3. Best director, I got Christopher Nolan in there for Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. I've seen a lot of people taking him out. I'm going to be very upset if he doesn't get in because his direction on that movie had to be perfect for that movie to work because it's a very weird movie and it just had to work so well, and I think he made it work so well. He does that with every film. Alexander Payne, I moved up for The Holdovers just because The Holdovers been getting so much love. Such a beautiful film, so beautifully made. And Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. As I said, Anatomy of a Fall has been rising so much. She deserves to get in there. And, a lot of people are going to get mad at me for not having, like, Greta Gerwig in here. I don't know. I think the direction on, Barbie's good, but I don't think it's as amazing as these 5. These 5 give some great direction. I've been hearing The Zone of Interest has great direction, too. That would probably be my 6. That's probably, like, creeping in there. I wouldn't be surprised if that got nominated, but I'm pretty proud of these 5 right here. Justine Triet, I think, deserves to get in. Best Adapted Screenplay, Poor Things I still have at the top, but I'm not really sure how, how confident I am for that. Barbie got placed in the right spot. It got moved from original to adapted, which it deserves to be in because it's an adapted product. But I still have it, close to the top there. American Fiction, funniest script of 2023, some amazing heart in there, as I said. And I still got the 2 big players, Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon, in there. So yeah, adapted screenplay looks pretty great so far. Original screenplay, as I said, had a big shakeup because Barbie is not in here anymore. So I had a little bit of trouble finding 5 for here. 5 great ones, but I decided with The Holdovers because it's been getting so much love. I think the script is just fantastic on that movie. Keeps you so engaged. Anatomy of a Fall, courtroom drama, past lives, very original script, very heartwarming script, very sad script at times. May December, just because I feel like it's so well made, and Maestro, just because it's Maestro. I feel like it could get a couple nominations, but yeah, this one's kind of like a shake up for me. I feel like a couple different things could happen here, but I'm not I'm not overly confident on this one. I'll say best cinematography. This is just a big matchup, I'd say, of the top 3 that I put, which is Oppenheimer. Hoyte van Hoytema is he hasn't won I don't even think he has won an Oscar for cinematography, even though he's done such fantastic work on every single film. I think he should have got nominated for Nope just last year, but I got down first. Poor Things I got up there. Such a beautiful film to look at. Killers of the Flower Moon. It's hard to make cinematography that look that good, and especially for 3.5 hours, but it was made to happen. Maestro, a great looking film, but a very slow film. And The Zone of Interest, I heard the cinematography looks great. Just from the trailers, I can see just some moving shots, just some great, outside shots too. Great, huge, wide shots of that movie. Looks great. Cinematography, a great lineup this year. Best costume design, I moved some things around. I'm not too sure on Barbie and Poor Things. If it was me, I'd put Poor Things at the top, but I got Barbie up there for now, and then I got Poor Things. I think those are the two best movies with the best costumes this year. Just blew me away with how different and how insanely, spectacular those costumes just blow up just in your eyes and all that. Killers of the Flower Moon has a lot of different, Osage costumes looking great. Oppenheimer I kept in there, and Maestro I think looks great, and I feel like the costumes are also great, so I'd leave it like that for now. Production design is one that I went with Poor Things for, because I feel like it looks more real, and I feel like it looks a little bit more detailed than Barbie. Even though they made a Barbie land, I feel like, I don't know if Barbie's going to get both production design and costume design. I feel like Poor Things deserves to get one of those at least. So Poor Things I put at the top here. Barbie I put at number 2, because I feel like the real world distracts me from everything, because Barbie land looks great, but the real world I don't think looks as magnificent. I think it looks pretty plain. Then Oppenheimer I got in 3 just because of how magnificent that movie is. Zone of Interest, I've heard the production design's great. And Killers of the Flower Moon, it's a big player, but I don't know if Killers of the Flower Moon is going to walk away with many wins. Best editing, I got Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Holdovers, Poor Things, and Anatomy of Fall, because Anatomy of Fall crept in there because it's a courtroom drama kind of film, but Oppenheimer still holding strong. It's such a powerful film. The editing has to work so well on your film to flow really well, and Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon are those films where they're over 3 hours, and you gotta have great editing to make the pace flow, and they flowed very well in those films. So those films are going to fight it out for the win. And for best sound, this is also a category that I didn't know what to do with, because a lot of films that I thought should have been nominated didn't make the short list. So I didn't really know, I didn't know what to do right here, but I put Oppenheimer in there. I got Maestro in there. I got Ferrari in there because I did like a lot of the sound in that movie. It's a car movie, so of course you're going to like it. I think it's of course going to get nominated. Killers of the Flower Moon has some great sound, especially with the bomb scene. And then The Zone of Interest, I've heard, has great sound because that's basically a sound oriented movie, not a lot of talking. So I kept that in there. So a pretty strong lineup, but I feel like a lot of things got left out of shortlist for here. So I'll keep it like that for now. These last 3 categories I'll go over pretty quickly. Best visual effects, I got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 over The Creator, because I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has a lot more visual effects going there, and I feel like a lot of it looks so smooth in there. But The Creator also looks very smooth. I don't feel like it's as strong as a film though. Across the Spider-Verse I also got in there some spectacular visuals in there. Godzilla Minus One, Poor Things, I didn't really know what to put in those last 2 positions, but Godzilla Minus One has just, it's like a big impact on every single culture right now. A lot of people are just going to go see it. I'm very proud of that film, and it looks pretty great for like 90% of it. Some 10% I'd say looks a little, cartoonish, but for the 90%, with just like that $15 million budget, it looks spectacular. Poor Things has some very simplistic visual effects, but we know the Oscars sometimes do like simplistic stuff. If we go on Oscar nomination morning and something like Indiana Jones gets nominated for this, I'll be a little upset because Indiana Jones has some pretty horrific visual effects in some moments. I wouldn't be happy about that. I would be happy with this lineup because I feel like this lineup has some visual effects that all look pretty great throughout the whole film. For best score, it's also one of my favorite categories because you gotta have a score that people want to listen to throughout the film, and also maybe a score that people want to listen to when you're not watching a film. I feel like a score is so great that you want to listen to it when you're not even watching the film because it's that great and it works so well in just your regular life. And Oppenheimer is that score for me. Oppenheimer works so well just in the film and outside the film. That's a just great score to listen to when you're reading, when you're like working out, just taking a walk, just thinking, working, anything like that. Across the Spider-Verse also works like that. It's a very hype score, a lot of different sounds going in that. Love that score a lot. And if Oppenheimer didn't release, I'd say Across the Spider-Verse would win that easily. Poor Thing, such a weird score, but just so vibrant. I loved it. Killers of the Flower Moon, such a great score also, and I've heard the Zone of Interest score is also great. I'm hoping I get to see that movie before the Oscars do happen, but that score lineup is just simply fantastic. And the last category we got here is Best Original Song. This one is not my favorite category to predict because I'm just not, the best at predicting songs. A lot of songs that I like aren't going to get nominated, which, I got to deal with. And just let you guys know, I'm not doing, reaction. I'm not doing predictions for international feature, documentary, or short films, because I haven't been able to see any of those. Like, I don't really get those in my theaters, but I'll still, I'll try to watch them before the actual Oscars happen to predict the winners for that. That's the only reason I didn't predict those, but because I've only seen like two of the actual international films that I would put in my, predictions. So let's just do original song and then we'll be done. I got I'm Just Ken for Barbie. What was I made for Barbie? Because you can only do two or three for one movie. Keep It Moving, Color Purple, I think it's a great song. Road to Freedom for Rustin, I think Rustin's going to get one in there. And I don't know what to do with the last one, so I just put Am I Dreaming for Spider-Verse. Not my favorite song from that film, but end credit songs sometimes get in it. But I'm Just Ken, pulling for that one, because, if you pick What Was I Made For, good for you. But I don't know how people think What Was I Made For is a better song than I'm Just Ken. I'm Just Ken is a more original song, and it's actually sang in the film by Ryan Gosling in a big musical moment. What Was I Made For is just playing in the background during a very heartfelt scene, but it's not like a big musical number, which I think a big musical number means a lot for this kind of movie because it's a very fun movie. So I'm Just Ken, I think works a lot. I think it's a very fun, and I think it should win. That's what the Oscars, best original song should be about, fun and all that. Not to one, that's a very fun song. So that's what I'll say for that. But those are my final Oscar nomination predictions before Tuesday. Very excited to see if we have some big, surprises, big snubs. I'm gonna be doing, a reaction video. Then I'll be doing some surprises, some snubs after that. It's gonna be a very fun day, very sad day if something don't get nominated. But as I said, leave your predictions down below in the comments. What do you think is gonna get nominated this Tuesday? Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, as I said. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.